has taken over.
Let's go!
It's Ferrall.
Coast to coast! Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money.
It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
All right, Carver High. We got to talk about the cornfield game.
Yes, we do. Tonight, of course, a Major League Baseball showcase for the second year in a row. They will be in Iowa for the Field of Dreams game. They're going to really push their luck this year. They're going to try to see if you'll watch just because they're playing in this cornfield, because they have two of the worst teams in Major League Baseball in the game, the Cubs and the Reds tonight, Scotty. Last year, you had that classic between the Yankees and the White Sox. This year, you get the Cubs and the Reds. So here is what we are looking at in the cornfield tonight. You have Drew Smiley going for the Cubbies, Scotty. Nick Lodolo is going for the Reds. Reds minus 116, Cubs minus 102. The total is 9 tonight. And, of course, Scotty, we are going up, and over for this one tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to go over, and I'm going to stick with the Cubs. I frankly, I don't have any bones in this. I don't like either team. I'm not interested in betting on them. I don't like putting my money behind losers. They're both so awful. But if I had a gun to my head, I would take the Cubs in the over. Wild ballpark. For some reason, they hit lots of home runs and score lots of runs. My guess is it'll be, the same theory I've always told you. Put two crappy teams together, it's generally a good game.
That usually is the situation. When you get a couple of bad ones, you get a good game. I wouldn't mind just give me that a 9-8 game like last year. That's perfectly fine with me tonight. Give you a reason to. We're going to be betting on home runs tonight, Scotty. Home runs, 2+ total bases, overs. That's what we're going for tonight. Please give it to us.
I still can't believe the Yankees lost last year in that game.
I know. That was an awful game. The walk-off by Tim Anderson in the cornfield. But we will see. Will people come tonight to watch the Cubs and the Reds? We will find out. There is your night, Scotty, in baseball. Just the two games. Couple of NBA notes for you here at the top of the hour, and then we'll get into some NFL after that. The Durant saga continues to move along at a snail's pace. There was reports today, Scotty, that Durant allegedly has added Philadelphia as a team that he would like to play for, and some in the Sixer organization feel very strongly about pursuing him. Didn't he want Harden, to get away from Harden, right? Isn't that why Harden got traded to Philadelphia? But now they're together at some concert in London and they're friends again? What is going on here? What is the madness here?
First of all, you hear ESPN reporting all day that, I heard literally that not only did I hear it at the Sixers, because James Harden is dedicating his summer to getting in the type of shape that he used to be in Houston when he was all out, ball out every night, unstoppable. He was never that in Brooklyn. He looked like roly-poly in Brooklyn, and he looked average at best in Philly. He went to Philly, had 2 good games, told everybody how much he loved it there, and then they fell off a cliff like they always do. Now they're telling me that he's in some kind of rededication, right, of his career, and I am just not buying it. So you're telling me that he's working out so hard. I saw him at the Travis Scott concert. He's working out so hard, going to concerts and partying. So everyone thinks he's going to find some magical, potion to come out and turn the Sixers into world champs. You have got to be on heroin. I am not buying it. They can't win. They couldn't win with the lineup that they had. They couldn't win with Embiid. They couldn't win with Simmons. They couldn't win with Harden. They never win. And then they're talking about giving the Nets Tobias Flop Harris. And, look, I understand the Sixer fans don't want Maxey to be traded, but Maxey's not the toe jam under Durant's toenails, okay? Let's stop with Maxey's the greatest player on earth, and he's going to win them. If he's so good, then why don't they ever do anything in the playoffs? Why don't they ever do anything ever, even with him? I don't want that deal.
First, they don't have a deal. There's no possible deal or equal value that the Sixers can give the Nets for Kevin Durant. There just isn't. We welcome in our radio affiliates, Ferrall Coast to Coast, Sirius XM 159, Sports Map, Sports Byline. Good to have you with us. Think about Maxey. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Thibault. I mean, Matthias Thibault, Tobias Harris. That's not worth, half of Kevin Durant, a quarter of Kevin Durant. They don't have the goods to make this trade. They shouldn't even be in the discussion. Why?
I heard him say today that if they get him, they're going to win the world championship. And that Embiid, Harden, and Durant. Did we just not have Durant, Irving, and Harden? And they couldn't even sniff it. They got swept. They got swept in the playoffs. I know Harden wasn't there. It didn't matter. Harden never did jack with the Nets. He never did jack. We've heard all these TV people and radio people go on the air and they're like, yeah, it's a championship in the bag. The big three,
sure.
We're good to go. Just stop. They can't get out of their own way, the Sixers. Your boy, Embiid, couldn't close the deal, scoring 30.4 a game. He couldn't win the MVP. He let a fat Michelin man steal it from him with a month and a half left in the season. It cost me $300,000. Scumbag.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Attention! From 1953 to 1987, veterans and civilians were potentially exposed to toxic chemicals in the drinking water at Camp Lejeune. Exposure to these chemicals increases the risk for cancer and other health problems. If you or a loved one were diagnosed with a serious illness after being exposed to contaminated water at Camp Lejeune, you may be entitled to compensation.
Call Sokolov Law now at 1-800-327-4629. That's 1-800-327-4629.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new, clinically proven Legzercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
After using Legzercise for a week, I felt like I wanted to go for a walk again without pain like I used to.
Legzercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
It's helped with the swelling and the pain. The tingling feeling is gone.
Call right now and order your very own Legzercise Pro, the clinically proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call now.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma or been diagnosed with another asbestos-related cancer, call now. An estimated $30 billion in court-ordered trusts have been set aside to pay out claims to asbestos victims. You may be able to receive compensation without ever going to court or filing a lawsuit. Thousands of hardworking men and women have been diagnosed with mesothelioma because manufacturers put profits ahead of safety. Manufacturers knew the risks of asbestos exposure for years, but knowingly manufactured and sold deadly asbestos-containing materials, putting millions of American workers at risk. These manufacturers have tried to avoid compensating their victims, but the courts have ordered them to set aside an estimated $30 billion in trust money for the victims of asbestos. Call now to see if you're entitled to a portion of the $30 billion. You could receive compensation without filing a lawsuit or going to court.
For your free legal consultation, call 800-268-1371. That's 800-268-1371. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
Attention! Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? If so, you may qualify for the IRS Fresh Start program, so you won't have to make any payments to the IRS. That's right. If you qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program, you won't make any IRS payments once you are accepted. Once you are in the IRS Fresh Start program, they must stop all harassing and threatening collection activities. Call Tax Relief today now at 800-382-1870 to see if you qualify. Again, 800-382-1870.
Carver High now making fun of me for watching Little League Baseball at this point in my life, so that's about where we are. Now, at least talk to me about, it's one thing to listen to this Philly nonsense, these terrible, just horrible trade ideas, but this one tops the cake. That they actually thought that they could, what could they do with the Celtics? Tell me this one now. This one's even funnier.
Well, there's a report that Brooklyn wanted from the Celtics to make this deal, not just Jaylen Brown, but they wanted Jason Tatum as well. They wanted both of them in the deal for Durant from Boston, which shows you even more why there's no way in hell they'd ever find a deal with the Sixers. If they're asking Boston for Brown and Tatum, what do the Sixers have to even possibly cut? They don't have, not even close to that, but you're right, that's ridiculous. Brown and Tatum seems like a lot, but he's Kevin Durant, Scotty. He's Kevin Durant.
Listen, I am telling you, I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again. I am not trading the young superstars, Tatum and Brown, for some 33 going on 34-year-old guy with a blown out Achilles. I don't care if he scores 30 a game. Take a good look, take a real good look at what he's doing in Brooklyn. He has taken the Nets hostage at gunpoint. He has spread his cancer throughout that organization. They're going to be scrubbing the floors and bringing out the chemicals to wash the organization of his stench of what he has done to their franchise. This guy, Durant, and Kyrie Irving, and I put Irving right in there, they have literally, the two of them, doubly destroyed the Brooklyn Nets franchise. They have destroyed. And that's what you want on your team? You want that guy so bad at his age, the guy that destroys teams, destroys coaches, destroys GMs, takes teams hostage at gunpoint, and you're going to trade two young superstars for that? You must be stupid. Now listen to them today. They said, we will not even discuss Robert Williams. Let me tell you something. Now, I'll be wrong, and he'll end up going to the Celtics for Brown. But if I were them, if I were Boston, they've already said they don't want to trade anybody. Well, then get out of the conversation. Why don't you just flat out come right out? They want to trade no one on their team for Durant. Then get the F out of the conversation. In my view, I don't believe for 1 minute he's going there because they won't trade anybody.
Look, you can't, like you say, stop. You shouldn't be involved in any discussions. There should be no more rumors that he's going to Boston or Celtics, because everything you hear from the Celtics is they don't want to give them anybody for him. Like Robert Williams III, like he's an untouchable player to get Kevin Durant. Like we've gone too far in this situation.
They really have. Yeah. You're right.
And and I'm with you. I wouldn't give up, obviously, both of the superstar players. Now, look, they're going to have to give up one of them. They're going to have to give up Brown if they actually want Kevin Durant. They would have to give up Jaylen Brown and a little bit more. And a little bit more is guys like Robert Williams III. Guys like those guys, if you are seriously...
Smart. Give me Smart, Brown, and two number ones, and you got a deal. Because I got to tell you, if I got my hands on Brown and Smart and two number ones, I would be willing to let him go because he is lymphoma. He is lymphoma. He is cancer that spreads to all the lymph nodes. He has spread his venom across the organization. And then the whole time he's out partying and making millions, and he's an entrepreneur and everything. He doesn't care if he screws everyone over to get his way. I don't want a guy, I don't care if he scores 40 a game. I don't want any player that is so selfish and so destructive. He destroyed the franchise. The Nets are so finished. They are so done. Yeah. They are 20 years removed from any chance at an NBA championship. By the time he leaves, they're going to have to cut out the cancer. It's going to take 10 years just to fix the bloodletting that he's left behind. And I'll tell you what, if they keep that punk-ass Irving, who says now allegedly Rick Bucher says he wants 60 games only, no back-to-backs. You know what? F you, dude. F you. You're a P. You're a P. You're a P. All you do is cry and complain and take vacations. Go rot in hell and go live on that flat earth you think exists, you stupid ass.
Well, like,
Done
what
with
is
him
that?
too.
I'm only going to play 60 games and not play back-to-backs. If that's the case, then what does he make next year, Scotty? Was it $37, $38 million, $40 million? $37 million? Okay, so you only want to play 60 games. All right, so you give me back, what is it, quarter, 1/5, whatever it is of your salary. You give it back to me then. I'm only going to pay you for 60 games then.
Good luck
I'm
with
not going
that.
to pay you for 82. I'm only going to pay you
Good
for
luck.
60. It's nonsense. I'd get rid of them both. If they can find out a way with the Celtics to somehow steal Brown and Smart, I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. They absolutely, no question. The Pelicans remain interested. That's just what the Pelicans need. Young, up-and-coming team. They've taken small steps the last 2 years, finally get in the playoffs. That's what they need. Bust up the whole team to put Durant with Zion down in New Orleans. He wouldn't go there anyway.
I mean, all right. Now, look, I am willing to find a way to discuss Brandon Ingram no matter what. No matter what, I'm getting Brandon Ingram because if you ask me, flat out, Brandon Ingram is so exciting and so talented, and he's so long, just like Durant. He's like a guy, he's literally, I think his jump shot, the same thing, unblockable because he's so long and so tall and has a step back snap J in the air. You see this guy have 35-point games left and right. I'll take Brandon Ingram and give me 3 number ones. They're not going to give him Zion Williamson, but I'll take Brandon Ingram. You want to talk? Let's get down to business. And then I also want that little Spanish kid that plays down there that's from Brooklyn. I want to get him too. Bring him back to New York because that guy wants to play for the Knicks more than life itself. Remember when he had the big night at the Garden? That kid would absolutely, he'd pee his pants if he got to come home to New York to play basketball. I can't remember his name to save my ass. I don't know what yesterday was. But you know who I'm talking about. That little Spanish. Alvarado. Your boy. Yes. Don't touch my Cadillac Eldorado, Alvarado. I want Alvarado. I want Ingram, and I want 3 number ones, and you can have both of them. And I hope they eat a bowl of jambalaya and get diarrhea, both of them.
There you go. The NBA also, Bill Russell's number 6. They're going to retire that across the entire league. Nobody can wear 6. They're going to have it on everybody's jersey this year. Nice tribute to Bill Russell coming up this year in the NBA. Nice job by them. NFL, we have a lot to do. Now, let's just do this now quickly because you're going to talk to basket in a minute. We knew from the moment this Watson stuff was happening that there was no way that if it was a full year, they were going to go with Jacoby Brissett, Scotty. So now today, magically, because they know the hammer's about to drop for the whole year, suddenly the Browns would be interested in getting Jimmy Garoppolo if the suspension is extended. What a revelation, Scotty. We didn't think that was going to happen.
Well, look, I hate to admit it because I hate the Browns, okay? I hate the Ravens and Browns. Really, I don't think I have enemies. I know a lot of people want me dead, but I don't have enemies that I dislike so much that they would supersede the Ravens and Browns. But I have to tell you, if they got Jimmy G, I believe with the talent that they have on both sides of the ball and in the backfield and, everywhere, tight end, Njoku, they got receivers out the Ying. They got a great defense and pass rush. If they got Garoppolo, and I mean it, I honestly think they are automatically a playoff team with him. With him, automatic playoffs, automatic. And that eliminates the Steelers. that gives, I think, the Ravens problems. Everyone just crowns Lamar Jackson with everything. He's the best player in the league. He's going to make the most money in the league. I'm not buying that coffee, that he's the best quarterback in the league. I'm not. I wish he was a running back because he sure can't throw the football.
You heard a screech outside at night, but you can't see what it is because there's not enough light. You need the Bionic Floodlight from Bell & Howell, the solar-powered motion-activated multi-directional floodlight, the versatile wireless, safety, security, and outdoor lifestyle light you'll love. And right now, it's yours for just $29.99, and the shipping is free. Order now, and we'll send a second Bionic Floodlight. Just pay a separate fee. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-604-7066 or order online at bionicfloodlight.com.
If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to tell you what your case is potentially worth. Hello, I'm Gina, along with spokesperson Rob. Rob, tell the folks at home who should be calling right now.
Well, just like you said, Gina, anyone who's been injured in an accident that was not your fault, you don't have an attorney, give us a call right now, and we're going to let you know what your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Rob. So what kind of calls have we been seeing today?
Well, Gina, we're getting calls from all types of accidents today. Work accidents, slip and falls, truck accidents, and most commonly, car accidents. So if you were injured in an accident that was not your fault, you don't have an attorney, take that first step, pick up that phone and give us a call. We're going to answer your questions, and we'll let you know how much money you can get for your accident.
Thanks, Rob. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Go ahead, don't hesitate, take that first step and call now.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solutions Center. Diabetics understand all too well the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can immediately reduce your pain. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solutions Center right now.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Attention! From 1953 to 1987, veterans and civilians were potentially exposed to toxic chemicals in the drinking water at Camp Lejeune. Exposure to these chemicals increases the risk for cancer and other health problems. If you or a loved one were diagnosed with a serious illness after being exposed to contaminated water at Camp Lejeune, you may be entitled to compensation.
Call Sokolov Law now at 1-800-327-4629. That's 1-800-327-4629.
Attention! Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? If so, you may qualify for the IRS Fresh Start program, so you won't have to make any payments to the IRS. That's right. If you qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program, you won't make any IRS payments once you are accepted. Once you are in the IRS Fresh Start program, they must stop all harassing and threatening collection activities. Call Tax Relief today now at 800-382-1870 to see if you qualify. Again, 800-382-1870.
The book.
All right, so Carver High, I want to get your opinion of what I just said about, now look, I don't deny that Lamar Jackson is good. Let's not kid ourselves here. I think he's excellent. But I do not think he's a great passer at all. And if he's so great, where's all these Super Bowls? Joe Flacco got him a Super Bowl, okay? Has Lamar Jackson in this deal got him to the Super Bowl? No. But they treat him in this league, like in the media, like he is God's gift to the position. And I am just not buying that at all. I mean, bro, and I'm not one of these guys that does lists, okay? I don't do lists. But if you want to hold me in a chair with duct tape and put a gun to my head, he ain't in my top 5 of anything as a quarterback in this league. He can run better than anybody. Congratulations. One of these days, Alice, you know what happens. One of these days, I mean to tell you, I will bet my life on it that one of these days he gonna get rung up. It happens every single time in the history of the NFL. Every great quarterback that ran the football eventually got lit the F up. And that was the end of the running. Okay, so that day's coming. But they are gifting this guy all this money. You know it's coming. He's going to make more money than God. He's going to make 250, 275. Okay, more than Watson, more than everybody. I just don't buy it. And I'm telling you, that guy Garoppolo, not only does he date porn stars that are smoking hot. I mean, let's just get down to business. That chick he went out with in L.A., there isn't a guy in this room that wouldn't want to go out to dinner with her. I don't care what anybody says. If you say you don't, you're a liar, because I would have been the first in line with her, okay? So I love Jimmy since that day. And that guy ends up in title games and Super Bowls like, it's like he's in with Jesus or something. This guy's always in big games and always winning. I am telling you, what he did to Aaron Rodgers in that game in Lambeau was embarrassing. If the Browns got their hands on him, Carver High, don't tell me they're not going to win.
Look, I think that obviously it puts them back in the conversation when we talk about playoff teams in the AFC. I think it absolutely puts them in the conversation if he's the quarterback. If tomorrow Watson, they say he's done for the year, and they have Jimmy G on the team, I think that they're right. They're in that mix for maybe the division, definitely a wild card. And I'm with you on Jackson. You know that. I don't roll the red carpet out for him. And he's a very good player. He's exciting to watch. There's no question about that. But you're right. I don't see the trophies next to him yet. And that's a lot of guys.
He's not better than Josh Allen. He ain't better than Patrick Mahomes.
No,
I mean, there's
I don't
people
believe so
right now that'll tell you that Herbert's better, that Carr's better. I mean, throwing the football is what the job is. I don't know anything about this. Running on every down. You run enough in the NFL, pain day's coming. I'm telling you, they're going to tear his head off. They're going to blow his knees out. And that's just going to be the end of it.
And I do believe that his throwing has improved since he's come into the league. I think he's gotten better at it, but he's still not at the level of some of those other guys that you just mentioned. He's not
Then
there
how
with those
in
guys
God's
terms of
name
throwing
is he
it.
going to make the most money of any quarterback in history? How does that make any sense to you?
You're taking a risk because, like you said, eventually somebody's going to get you. And when they do get you and you lose that element of your game that has made you so great, it could be a different player, Scotty, that's for sure.
If you pay that guy, hypothetically, $275 million, let's say, $300 million, and he doesn't win you a Super Bowl, who's the sucker?
Yeah. No. Look, all these guys who get $300 million, you would think that eventually the payoff has to be a championship, right? When you're giving somebody that much scratch, you got to win, and that goes for Mahomes. Allen's got the same expectations now in Buffalo. He better bring them their first trophy ever with all the money they're giving him up there. So the expectations are the same for all the guys who get there. Watson in Cleveland as well. I know it's not going to be this year because he ain't going to play, but at some point, he's got to bring something home to Cleveland, right? For all that money that he's getting from them? That you would think that that's the case.
Unequivocally. I'll say this. Your boy Allen, in my view, he has earned that contract, and he's also living up to it, in my opinion. The guy is always in the biggest games, the best games, and he is, without a doubt, in my view, he is everything Jim Kelly was. He is Dan Marino. He is must-see television. I want to watch that guy play football, even though I'm not a fan of the team. I still want to watch him. And that's when you transcend what the money they give you, even if you don't win a Super Bowl. He is the guy that everyone wants to watch. And I think Mahomes knows that the only guy that can F with him in the NFL is that kid.
I agree with you on that point. You're going to talk to Andy at 40, Scotty, so let's get a couple of things done here. Brady and the games tonight with the preseason. First, they announced this morning Tom Brady's leaving Bucs camp for personal matters. He's going to return after the second preseason game, which is at the end of next week. Let me give you Todd Bowles, Scotty, this morning explaining Brady going away.
Tom Brady had another excused absence and when you might get him back.
Yeah, Tom has been excused today. He will be taken anywhere. He'll be back sometime around after Tennessee. He's going to deal with some personal things. This is something we talked about before training camp started. We allotted this time because he wanted to get in and get chemistry with the guys and go through 2 weeks of training camp, knowing he wasn't going to play the first two games. He didn't want to take away reps from Blaine and Kyle, and as well as Griff, as far as going into these next two games, and it's something he needs to handle. We trust him. We talked about it. It was scheduled way before training camp, and he will not be here until after Tennessee.
If this wasn't somebody, Todd, of Brady's stature, would you be much more concerned about your quarterback missing time?
Well, depending on the situation, I would still be concerned about the quarterback. Yeah, if he didn't have the years and the experience that the guy has and comes in and works diligently, I would definitely be concerned.
Yeah, and Tom has more power than Todd, so let's get down to business. Now,
Yes.
For me, I was thinking, what could this be? And I think it's clear now that he's going to have a Ferrall-onoscopy. When you hit 40, Carver High, I've always told you, you got to get the annual Ferrall-onoscopy. And then if it's not that, like August 26th, I think I go in here in a couple weeks for the Dr. Garden's going to check my flower. It's time for the annual prostate rub. And when they spin the flower, I mean, they mean business. Now, some people can, like me, I can go same-day service and come in and gig with you and do the show. Now, some people wake up and they feel like they've had a can of tennis balls in their arse after they have that Ferrall-onoscopy. And they may not come out of it like I do. I'm like, I love getting knocked out. I like the drugs. I like everything about it. But, some people wake up with a can of tennis balls or with a, spun flower. They need a couple days off. So I think it's clear that Gisele's not going to let him go sleep with another woman. So it's down to Ferrall-onoscopies or prostate exams. This is why he's going to be out. If they're not going to tell us, as you know, on C2C, we go right around the non-story and make our own stories up. Injuries, NHL won't tell us what the injury is. Lower body, my ass, blown out knee. Lower body, Achilles, he's out for the year. A guy doesn't going to go to work for a week. Where is he? He's having his ass checked or his prostate. That's what happens. And believe me, when Dr. Garden goes in and he asks about the Steelers season, he means business when he says, do you think they're going to make the playoffs this year? I'll make a man out of you.
We got 2 games tonight. The Brady stuff's not a big deal. Who cares? If there's anybody who doesn't need 2 weeks of training camp or needs other guys potentially hitting or breathing on him, it is what it is. If that's what he's doing, good for him. He gets 2 weeks off. All right, we have 2 games tonight. I think we've got time. Let's squeeze in Bill Belichick, Patriots and the Giants tonight. Seems like Bill's in a good mood heading into the first preseason game, Scotty. Here we go.
What's your level of confidence like that you guys will be able to execute consistently an actual game scenario on Thursday?
Find out Thursday. Some of these guys have never played a game in a National Football League or for us, so I don't know. We'll see.
Look at him.
You go into saying that there's breakdowns on certain plays from like
breakdowns on every play.
And
there's
so why
good execution on every play for the most part. I would say there's not many plays where all 11 guys are wrong. I mean, that's just rare at this level. But there's generally corrections on every play too.
So what has caused those breakdowns to overwhelm where we don't see consistent success on the offense when it goes from play to play and 11 on 11?
Listen to this guy asking these stupid questions.
Yeah, I just answered that question.
Honestly, honestly, dude, how stupid are you, bro? Honestly, here's the deal. When you're in Boston, you either have some kind of inside friendship with this guy, or I advise you not to ask questions. Because you're dealing with grumpy old front porch man there. He is not interested in anything anyone ever asks him at a presser. You are going to lose every time. The only way you get on the inside with that guy is if you're like friends with him. If he likes you, he might answer your stupid question. If he doesn't know you or like you, you are effed. You're done. You're not getting answered ever.
Giants -3 in Foxborough tonight. The Ravens have won like 600 preseason games in a row. They're laying 3.5 against the Titans tonight. 2 preseason games for you, Scotty. There you go.
Lamar will be calling all the plays on the sideline. The Ravens will blow out the Titans and win again. They haven't lost in 20 years.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma or been diagnosed with another asbestos-related cancer, call now. An estimated $30 billion in court-ordered trusts have been set aside to pay out claims to asbestos victims. You may be able to receive compensation without ever going to court or filing a lawsuit. Thousands of hardworking men and women have been diagnosed with mesothelioma because manufacturers put profits ahead of safety. Manufacturers knew the risks of asbestos exposure for years, but knowingly manufactured and sold deadly asbestos-containing materials, putting millions of American workers at risk. These manufacturers have tried to avoid compensating their victims, but the courts have ordered them to set aside an estimated $30 billion in trust money for the victims of asbestos. Call now to see if you're entitled to a portion of the $30 billion. You could receive compensation without filing a lawsuit or going to court.
For your free legal consultation, call 800-268-1371. That's 800-268-1371. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
I lost my motivation. I was feeling old and starting to look it. And then, voila. I feel better than I did in my 20s. If you feel stuck, if you can't find the drive, it may be due to low HGH, which naturally drops with age.
Your growth hormone levels start declining in your 20s, but GF9's lab-tested, patented formula is designed to boost GH levels naturally by up to 682%. Growth hormone is associated with reduced body fat, increased lean muscle, improved energy, mood, and more. And best of all, GF9 has been shown to work in as little as 2 hours.
I've taken a million different supplements. This is the first one that I've noticed has made a tremendous difference.
To me, GF9 is the best supplement out on the market.
GF9 is a top-selling male performance product at GNC. Call right now to try GF9 for 60 days absolutely risk-free.
Call 1-800-795-9129 or go to getgf9.com.
Join us. Get your drive back. Get your youth back. And get back in the game with GF9.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report. We researched over 1,200 annuities and summarized the rates and benefits of annuities from financially strong insurers. Again, that's Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free, for calling Annuity General today. Supplies are limited. Call now.
Call 800-830-7360. That's 800-830-7360.
Erin O just signed up for BetMGM and she bet $10 on the Cubs-Reds game tonight. And she's going to win $200 if either team hits a home run into the cornfields. And you get an extra $10 if someone gets a home run hit off their skull into the cornfield. Like, you know, if like you lose it in the sun and it does a Canseco off your skull, you got to use the bonus code MLBHR2022. And you're good to go. So you're going to love BetMGM app. Trust me when I tell you. All right, Andy Baskin is #1 on middays on the Fan in Cleveland and a regular on Coast to Coast. We always like to check in with Andy with everything that's going on. First of all, I want to talk about. Well, you heard me already. We bet on the Guardians to win the division. We'll talk about them in a minute. Let's talk about what really matters in Cleveland. Will the Browns do a deal here with Jimmy G based on the fact that you all know your boy's about to go to Roger Goodell day camp prison?
I haven't heard of that. I'm so enlightened today between that and a Ferrallonoscopy. I don't know what's better. This is like the greatest day of my life. Are you kidding? I don't know. We'll see what happens with him. We're still waiting to find out if Watson's going to get the full year. And Roger's talking tough, but here's my question for you. Roger had all the power in the world to make this decision. Why did he have to hand it off? I mean, it's just prolonging the agony. Maybe that's why. Maybe he wanted to put Browns fans and the Browns through more turmoil. I mean, I just don't understand why the commissioner just didn't step up. He's been talking the talk. He says everything he wants. He wants him not on the field this year. We've heard it all a million times. If he wanted it, the power was right there in his hands. Why didn't he just do it himself? I don't get it.
It's because I think you know why. It's because, and I think it's pretty simple. He realizes he is smart, dude. That guy knows what he's doing. He didn't get that job because he's an idiot. And he certainly doesn't have that job because fans don't like him and they boo him and they give him the business like all fans do with every commissioner of every sport. They hate all of them. They're the most hated people on earth. And nobody likes the union head on the player's side in any sport either. It's all ridiculous. The reason why he did it is because he knows people hate him and he's smart enough to push it off to somebody else because no matter what he does, he can't win. Roger Goodell is blamed for everything in the NFL. He'd be blamed for this, and it's so easy for him to give it to a guy that's already had, the litigation that this guy's already done for the NFL through the years and CBAs and everything else. He already knows the guy has a track record of making hard decisions when two sides battle in court and in negotiations and hate each other's guts. He's going to let someone else do it so that he's not the bad guy again. He knows if that's why they hired Sue Robinson. They can't agree on whether it's sunny or partly cloudy. So if he made the decision, no one was going to like it. The Browns are going to sue. The Players Association is going to sue. They already did. The minute it got changed to the Harvey guy, they sued him. I think he did the right thing in pushing it off to Harvey.
Well, I think there's another part of it. Charles Robinson from Yahoo wrote a really good piece, and we had him on our show. And I think that the commissioner is not only, mad about the fact that Deshaun Watson lied to him, but also about the fact that it looked like there was a little period there where we didn't hear anything from Sue Robinson, and it sounded like we were going to get some kind of negotiated settlement in this case, and Deshaun said no. And I think when that happened, Roger Goodell was all in, and he was just going to throw everything at Watson. So it seemed like at one point this could have been 10 games, maybe a $10 million fine, and Deshaun walked away from that, and so did the NFLPA. So whatever happens. I just don't. I mean, for me personally, I think Roger looks unbelievably weak when he could have just handed down the verdict and did everything himself. But that's on him, and he's worried about his image and the NFL's image. And I know I'm inside this big Cleveland bubble, so that's the way I kind of see things. I'm not expecting Deshaun Watson to play. I've gone back and forth, and if he gets to play, that'd be great. But Jacoby Brissett is not the answer in Cleveland, I can tell you that.
Okay, so I want to get your feelings about this guy sans your fandom and your love for the Browns and your love for the city of Cleveland. I'm no different. I'm a Steeler fanatic. I'm a season ticket holder. I'm completely on the take for my team like you are. But there is no way I'm going to sit here and listen to you tell me that guy, what he did is not bad stuff. He is a bad dude who did bad things. No matter what anyone tells you, know this. He paid off every one of those chicks because he did something to them. And nobody pays off anybody they didn't do anything to. So I am telling you, this guy is bad news. And I know you want him to play in Cleveland, and he will play in Cleveland. He's going to play for 4 years after this, and he's going to make a ton of money. But you can't tell me that guy doesn't deserve everything that's coming to him right now. I can't even fathom that those chicks all got paid off. that not on him or on, I don't blame him, because I think they're pathetic that they all took the money. They cry rape, and then they all took big fat checks to make it go away, except one woman. I stand with her alone. All the rest of them, you can have a sandwich. You're all phony, money-grabbing hoes. I don't care what anybody says. And let me tell you something else. Your boy deserves everything that's coming to him.
All right, so let me give you my take on this too, because I know why you're saying what you're saying, but you know as well as I do that when you get in the professional sports world, and what he did was wrong. I'm not questioning that, and I've got a former federal judge, that will agree with me on that. I still don't know how he was able to not get indicted when you can indict a ham sandwich in this country. So we understand that, and everyone understands that. But I really think that sometimes these professional athletes live this life that no one understands. And I also believe that his definition of what he thought happens at the end of a massage is just wrong. And he found a way to do it that was different than anybody else, and he's going to be punished for it. But I just it's the life. You know it as well as I do, Scotty. Those guys don't live a life like any one of us do. Private planes all the time. You're not ever, you don't touch a bag. People, you're in and out of cities. It's just a different life. And I really believe that where he's different and where he's wrong is the life that he's lived in this situation that he's going into. His definition of what he thought a massage was is not the standard.
Listen, you cannot have 24 or more. The New York Times said it was 66. There's no way that those women weren't assaulted. I just don't believe it for 1 minute. Now, listen, I shouldn't call them names and everything else. Fair enough. But we don't know their names. So when I'm talking about 23 women that took the bag of money, I don't respect them. I respect the chick that will fight him until he's in jail. That if this guy assaulted me or raped me, I am going to make sure he goes to jail. I don't care about money. This guy ruined my life. The ones that all 23 or 24 took the money, I don't respect them at all. And people say, you call them names. Nobody knows who they are. It's all in secret. It's all no names, no faces, disclosure. They signed their life away because they all took the money. He did it. He deserves everything that's coming to him for a year. 6 games was candy ass. 10, all right, I could see starting at 10. A whole season, to me, it's reasonable, Andy.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue. I mean, look, I think you're right. I also question where the Texans' role is on this, because they rolled over too and they paid off 30. So what's going to happen to the Texans when this is all said and done? I look at it from, there's the Deshaun part of the story, and then there's the bigger picture part of the story, and what's going to happen to the next person that falls, and what happens there. And, the NFL is going to have some issues if you go back and look at Sue L. Robinson's writing about due process and making sure that people know what the penalty is for said incident. So there's more to come in this story, and we'll see what happens. I'm not expecting this year.
I just don't. Listen, I know that Sue Robinson has a storied career as a judge. Congratulations. I think her days with the NFL should be over. I thought she, that was so weak. After all that, to come back with that and kind of go with both sides so everybody's, amicable and everybody gets along and we all leave the fist fight as friends. I don't like leaving fist fight as friends. I like leaving with the other guy's eyeball on the floor. She blew it. Get rid of her ass. I'm done with her. She did a terrible job. Go back to the courtroom and put criminals away. Stay away from the NFL. You don't know what you're doing when you're dealing with billionaires. I'm telling you, she's better with criminals. Now, talk to me about today's Guards win. As you know, Carver High has a massive gambling problem, and we have been betting large amounts of money on the Guards to win the Central.
I think it's fair. Minnesota didn't take advantage of the opportunity they had, so that's why I think the Guardians are in a good spot. They came back today. They gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th, ended up going to extra innings, and then Gonzalez came up with a big hit, and Ramirez scored the game-winning run. So they're playing good baseball. They're playing consistent baseball. Tito is in a spot where I don't think he's ever really been before, where he's got no veterans, not a lot of veterans on this team. He's got a team that's younger than the average AAA team. So I think these guys just don't know any better, that they're supposed to roll over, and they continue to play hard. Naylor is just a man. He works so hard. They've got guys on this team that are out there every night. They don't care how many fans are in the stands. They're going to play hard. They play hard every night. It's a fun team to watch. I know not everybody in Cleveland's on board with this. They're still a little miffed about the name change. So we'll see what happens if they make it to the playoffs and if this city erupts a little, especially if Jacoby Brissett's the quarterback of the Browns and they're struggling.
They have to go trade for Jimmy G. Don't start with me again with the Browns. Just do the deal already. Jacoby Brissett, I'd rather eat brisket than watch him play football. Honest to Christ. But the Guardians have 3 guys hitting 300. Do you know how unheard of that is in Major League Baseball these days? Juan Jimenez, Gonzalez, all over 300. They got guys hitting Rosario 285, Ramirez 280. We already know what he can do with the bat and home runs. And they got, a guy hitting 250 Freeman. Do you know how many teams have guys hitting under 230 in Major League Baseball that can't guys that can't get a hit once a week? I cannot believe how many guys produce for the Guardians.
I know you talk about that middle infield, and it makes us forget about the Lindor trade pretty quick, too. That's the other thing. Plus, they're not afraid to walk away from guys. They weren't happy with Franmil Reyes, and Reyes was a guy that walked into here. He was like, he was like the mayor the minute he walked in here. I still like him. I still think he can play. I don't think they were happy with his weight. I think they asked him to do some things. And for a team that doesn't spend a lot of money, they were willing to walk away from $4 million for him. The Cubs picked it up when he went there, but I think that was just a sign of what this team is all about when they let Reyes go last week. I was shocked, to be honest with you, because he just didn't seem like that kind of guy. They've given other guys the opportunity, like Bobby Bradley, to stick around and try to produce. Those guys that they wanted to produce for the last couple of years didn't. So now they're giving these young guys a chance, and they're taking full advantage of it. They just don't know any better. One of the guys that we talked to, Tom Withers from the Associated Press, calls them the Kinner Guardians. I think he's 100% right.
Well, look, I hope they finish it out and get into the playoffs. And I just wanted to say, screw the Browns and all their problems, because I'm a Steeler fan. But I still love you. At least I still love you, bastard.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Diabetics understand all too well the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can immediately reduce your pain. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now.
I'll never forget the day I nearly died. I was a young journalist with a great career, starting a family. The only way we found out I had any kind of heart issue was when I went into sudden death. My coworkers sprung into action. They'd recently been trained in life-saving CPR protocols developed by the American Heart Association. They're the ones that kept me alive until the medics came. They did many tests on me in the hospital after my cardiac arrest and found my arrhythmias and created a treatment plan. My pacemaker, my defibrillator, different surgical procedures I've been, all with research from the American Heart Association. That makes it pretty personal. I think unless you are a heart disease patient, you may not know how much work the American Heart Association does behind the scenes to save your life. That's why I'm doing everything I can to pay it forward. And I urge you to become a monthly donor. Your support will help get the next person trained in CPR, the next hospital to be certified in high-quality cardiovascular care, the next medical breakthrough, one that could save your life or the life of someone you love. With heart disease killing 1 in 3 Americans, more than all forms of cancer combined, the need is greater than ever. When you become a monthly donor, you'll help sustain life-saving work all year long. And when you start your monthly gift of $19 a month, just 63 cents a day, you'll get a t-shirt like this one. From the moment you put it on, You'll help raise awareness for heart disease and stroke. Since my cardiac arrest, I've had 2 more children. I've watched all 3 of my children grow into adulthood. I'm gonna cry now. Graduate from college. My daughter got married. I have grandchildren, and I'm still here. Call now or visit helpheart.org to become a monthly donor today. Because it's personal.
Attention! Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? If so, you may qualify for the IRS Fresh Start program, so you won't have to make any payments to the IRS. That's right. If you qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program, you won't make any IRS payments once you are accepted. Once you are in the IRS Fresh Start program, they must stop all harassing and threatening collection activities. Call Tax Relief today now at 800-382-1870 to see if you qualify. Again, 800-382-1870.
All right, fast forward Ferrall on your facial, the Ferrall finish. Robin Leonard going to miss the entire season for the Vegas Golden Knights with a hip surgery. I mean, I am just so done with Robin Leonard and all of his problems. Honestly, you remember they were talking about him? He's like the best goalie in the league. My ass, what a nightmare that guy's been. They got nothing out of him. Nick Rolovich seeking $25 million in wrongful termination claim against Washington State up in Pullman. Yuri Prochazka and Glover Teixeira agreed to a rematch for the UFC light heavyweight title. Patrice Pitbull to defend his Bellator title against Usman Nurmagomedov in November. Meatball Molly McCann to face Blanchfield at UFC 281 at the Garden in New York. Get to watch Meatball fight at the Garden Mafia. UFC legend Cyborg to make boxing debut against Simone Silva on the 25th of September. PFL offering $4 million for Kayla Harrison and Cyborg for a crossover fight. Trevor Bauer's accuser sues the pitcher for sexual battery, the gift that just keeps on giving. Frank Gore charged with simple assault in Atlantic City after a domestic violence incident. Is that opposed to difficult domestic violence assault? Simple, difficult? Which one is it? I can't explain it. It was simple battery. What does that mean? Where do they come up with this stuff? 3 dead after a hostage situation during a NA meeting in Florida. You're not supposed to talk about NA, but how about going to an NA meeting and having some guy start taking hostages with a 9 Glock when you go up to get your cup of coffee to talk about your drug problem? Here you go. Rhode Island ferry brawl leaves multiple people injured. A bunch of people were going to a reggae concert on some island and they started brawling on the ferry boat over to the island. It did not go well. People getting thrown into the water. And my favorite story, ex-court mediator charged with sending cable-filled letters to Ohio GOP politicians. Some guy said, he sent